Alright, what's going on, guys? We're back here at the dyno, fresh off of FL2K. We're going to do a quick little health check on the car, dial in a few boost control settings that I wanted to play with anyways, and look at stuff like boost and back pressure. So let's check out the car. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, this is a B-Series B18 LS Vtec 2.0 liter standard 4-speed dog box transmission with a nice 64-66 millimeter precision next-gen turbo. So obviously supporting amenities all over the place, but let's go ahead and dive into it. There's some fun stuff that we want to dial in for the next season, so hopefully today we get to learn some stuff on the dyno. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the first spool. I turned the boost down just to see what we can see what adjustments need to be made now that it's 16 volt. But right off the bat, I think it should be running okay. We're just gonna go ahead and roll right into it. First pass right there, did really well, made 561 wheel horsepower, 20 pounds of boost, really light. When I was looking at the back pressure data, the back pressure is only at 10 PSI. Recently at the racetrack, we didn't see a one-to-one crossover on the boost to back pressure until we exceeded about 42, 43 pounds of boost. So the turbo in this range is extremely happy. It's still revving up and making boost really, really easy. Data looks good so far. We're gonna go ahead and do another hit, probably with a little bit more boost, and see if we can continue replicating that clean data. Alright, that was pretty nice. We got 704 horsepower, 481 foot-pounds of torque, which I'm really happy with that. Just at 28 pounds at the beginning of third, or halfway through the run, tapers down to about 26, 27 pounds. So we are still on a traditional 4-port boost solenoid. We don't have anything fancy like CO2 or a dual 3-port where it can bleed and increase at the same time. So this is a very simple setup when it comes to boost control. That's why you see a little bit of taper on boost at the top of each gear. We're gonna go ahead and put the charger on there because we've done a couple hits. Let it sit for a couple minutes, cool down. I'll increase the duty cycle again and then see if we can break some more horsepower. The goal for today isn't to make a whole bunch of power, but it is to dial in the car with the 16 volt conversion that we just did. It's gonna change a little bit. There were a few settings in the background that we wanted to change when we went to 16 volt, but the more important thing is in a nice controlled environment where there's not risk of track and other cars, we wanna be able to make sure that all the calibration is correct before we take it back out to the track. So that last pass right there, 36 pounds of boost, made 805 wheel horsepower. That right there, we just passed one-to-one on back pressure. So we had roughly 40 PSI of back pressure to 36 pounds of boost. We are still within an efficiency range that the turbo is still happy, but it is worth noting that we passed that 1-to-1 ratio. So I'm gonna put a little bit more boost in it. I'm gonna try to replicate what we went 890 at the track with, which was 46 pounds, and then it bleeds off to like 42 at the end of the pass. To see what that was, I have an idea that maybe it was high 800s around there, but we'll see. I don't want to stretch it too much more after that here on the dyno because we'll turn it up at the track. But just want to do one more pass and then we can do some cool little fire shots. So it is worth noting I run 1 Ethanol R on this car. exclusively 1R. A lot of people like mixing methanol or other spicier fuels, which is totally cool. You know, you can do that. But there's nothing like the simplicity of grabbing a can and just putting it right in the car. So I've been running it for a couple years now. Very happy with how it performs. The car always runs super clean, and the exhaust ports look magnificent once they're done and out of the car. So once we do teardowns and inspections, I'm going to continue running it. I don't see a reason why not to. So that last spool was actually really nice. We did up the duty cycle a little bit more than what we were running at the track when we made 46 pounds of boost at its peak and then tapered to 42. What's interesting here, since we're only dynoing in third, I don't want the car to have a crazy mile an hour, especially on a chassis dyno. We're dynoing in third, and we don't have all the heat and the load that you would have in fourth gear at the racetrack. So we're 60% duty cycle on a 4-port solenoid got this car to make 46 pounds of boost and taper to 42. Now 65% duty cycle on that same 4-port solenoid, but in third gear in a controlled environment like this yielded us a little less boost. Right here in this section where you see that it has a really nice curve and starts to make some power, we have roughly 42 pounds of boost. And by this section right here, we're already down to 38 pounds. So you can see that rather than having a nice graph that continues going, since we know that the turbo is still making nice power right there, you see a little bit of a drop off in both horsepower and torque production, but that's totally okay. We understand that having a very simple 4-port solenoid, we're gonna have things like this. That being said, 856 horsepower to the wheels, super happy with that. Almost 600 foot-pounds of torque is fantastic for this. I think now there are a few things that we want to change to be able to mitigate these boost lead problems. We're probably going to move over to a CO2 system in the near future. Motion Raceworks makes a really nice kit that brings pretty much everything that you need, that you can just wire it into your car and you're good to go. So we're going to look about picking up one of those, and then we can see if we can make some more jam. We're super happy with how this looked out. FLTK was great. We went an 890 with a little bit more boost. And this right here just shows me that there's more horsepower on the table to be had. What's next? There's a whole bunch of racing next year, so we're gonna see what we can do. I don't know if I'll end up keeping a 64, 66, although it makes great power and we know that it takes a little bit more boost. I got the itch. I want a little bit of a bigger turbo, so maybe build a big boy motor. This is still an I-beam steel rod engine. The bearings always live really happy. It has a set of king bearings in it right now. Even for the weight of an I-beam, it still lives up well. But it still has regular Vtec, it's not locked out. We're gonna move the fuel cell from the rear to the front and get some more nose weight, that way get a better short track in the beginning of the pass. But there's just a whole bunch of opportunity here. We're excited to go into the beginning of 2026 soon with some new stuff coming out with this car, as well as another guy here that races Peter. We're gonna be doing some cool stuff with his car as well, the QR25 Sentra. What's next for Real Street and the car, as well as myself, we're doing World Cup finals. We'll have a really nice vendor booth out there. We love going out there, getting to shake hands with some of the racers we support throughout the year, as well as meet you guys. So that's always a super fun event for us. We love it. After that, we're going out to PRI, which is beginning of December, if I'm not mistaken. Great show. If you guys ever get the opportunity, please make it out there. It is like a kid, you feel like a kid in a playground when you're out in Indianapolis, checking out some of the new products that are out there and shaking hands with the people who design these cool parts that actually help us go fast. So a lot of really cool stuff. If you made it to this part of the video, we're gonna do some other little cool noises, so stay tuned. We're gonna see if we can shoot some fireballs out of this like we do when we launch at the drag strip. So yeah, let me warm up the oil real quick and we'll do some little two-steps.